Welcome back, audience. I got another message for you today. This one is very, very sharp truth. I'm just gonna lay it out as it is. Okay. This type of truth can be discovered only through your self-observation and observation of consciousness, which is the self-observation, everything that you see outside, inside, and so on, and through interaction to people, and to really driving deep, deep down, it is possible to mine for the truth. And that's actually the every man's job, is to be uh, the opposite of a gold digger, a gold miner. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's mine some gold, huh? All right. Um, the bullshit number one, the saying that says, the world is your mirror. Okay? Not true. The world is not your mirror. This is how, if you believe that, you can get yourself in the trap. Okay? Let me show you how it all works. First of all, I'm just going to start off with the premise that world is not your mirror. Okay? It is a reflection, but it's not a perfect mirror. Okay? I'm going to start off with the premise that it is a half-half. It reflects who you are perfectly, okay? And then it also has a distortion side to it, okay? Distortions is what we call shadows. I know sometimes people call darkness, but it's not it. Darkness, or the void, the emptiness where there's no form of consciousness, it's not shadow. It's not shadow. It's actually stillness. It's actually something that's desirable, and everything starts from there. It's actually the answer to all the problems, that emptiness. So I don't want to use the word darkness. Shadow is the good word, but actually it's a distortion. When you distort the light of consciousness in such way that it does not diffract the light anymore, or rather starts like absorbing it, that's a shadow. But anyway, so I have to say that the world is a shadow mirror and your real reality mirror. The shadow mirror and the light mirror. The shadow is the distorted mirror and the perfect mirror. Distorted mirror and the perfect mirror. Okay, I'm just going to. Why am I keep repeating this? It's because it's okay. It's a premise, but it's not a proof. I just said that this is so, but let's just look at it, see if it is so. Right. Okay. How do you apply in everyday life? Well, you may be wondering sometimes why bad things happen to good people, or you may believe that, look, I'm loving, I'm caring, and people are mistreating me and abusing me. So how is that a mirror of me? Okay, this is where you may get tricked a little bit. Okay, because first of all, yes, it is possible that, for example, you may have a heart full of shadows. You may lack openness, okay, of what people call love, openness, okay. And let's just leave it at there. Now, what happens, you try to be open, but sure enough, people are dumping their shit onto you, okay. And then you can say, well, wait a second, that person is doing this to me. And then the trick is that The belief says like, oh, it's all your projection. See, that's where you need to say, shut the fuck up, because there's more to that. It is possible that you are projecting that reality. It is possible, for example, and how do you know that? If you have anxiety when you're by yourself, with nobody around you, you're possibly projecting a lot of fears in your reality. Possibly you're dark inside your heart. You still need to work on opening your heart. And how do you do that? Just simply sit with your anxiety rather than expressing and projecting it onto the world. Just sit with it until it gets to the stillness and silence. You have to do it through your own full attention, full observation, until you're tuned in to the stillness and silence. And you feel that's another word for it, surrender, okay? So you may be doing that type of work. You may need to do that type of, it's not really a work, it's actually, we call it work, but it's actually how you're supposed to live your life. But anyway, now that's the beginning. This is why a lot of people that may be pursuing in their life spiritual path are actually just wearing a mask, and they're actually seeking for the solution for the anxiety that they have. They still have a dark heart, and they are putting the spirituality mask to seek for the solution. Okay, so now that's just a mask. What's really the truth is what kind of vibration, what kind of energy person has. Energy never lies. Belief always lies. Energy never does. Okay? However, let's say that you're at peace with yourself. Let's say you do have enough openness, or you feel you're not lying, you're not cheating, you're honest, and you feel good in your heart is clean. However, you go through life, and then you encounter somebody, and you have the interaction with them, and then suddenly you feel like that's being dumped onto you. Something's being dumped onto you, and because you've been open, that is being dumped onto you. Okay, and then you say, wait a second, that somebody else is dumping their shit onto me because I'm open and loving. And sometimes these teachings may trick you and say, well, you're just projecting. No. If you're open, if you're clear in your heart and energetically you can observe everything as it is, you're not projecting in that moment, you are observing of what actually is. Actually, when you're rid of your own anxieties, when your own fears, you start clearly feeling others. Other people, demons. You start seeing it. You're not projecting it. You would be projecting it if you're still in anxiety by yourself. And then you go out there, then yes, you are projecting it. However, in this case, the sensation is different. You are observing it, and you should be totally in your rights. Admit that reality to yourself, and don't buy into this idea that you're projecting any kind of negativity, right? There are a lot of people who do have that negativity and project onto others and say like, oh, he's a narcissist, but they're being narcissists themselves and wearing this mask of a spiritual person. It's possible that can happen, but what it doesn't lie is the energy. You can feel that person's energy, and you can feel that they're wearing a mask, and in fact they are just clowning around. Okay, energy never lies. Doesn't matter what they say. Never listen. Don't even believe your eyes or ears. Believe your heart. And when I say believe your heart, I don't mean emotional human heart. I mean when it's clear and still and open, you will start feeling everything as it is. You start being able to observe of what it is. Okay? Now, you may already have experienced this and have experienced that you've been loving and caring, And for that, you had your ass handed to you. Okay? And you may be wondering what the fuck is going on. How is the reality my mirror if that's the way the reality is treating me? That's because it's not your mirror. It also is your mirror because you also can see whatever you are attract that, but you also attract the opposite. Okay? Now, that's when it's the next phase. This is why the surrender, the stillness to discover the Holy Spirit within yourself is just the beginning of the game. Okay? From there, you start seeing the truth. And now the game is about the truth. Okay? And now love is not going to let people let go of their wicked ways, so to speak, right? Love is not going to work. Actually, in fact, this type of love is being abused because the way we call love is openness. That's what we mean. Most people what mean by love is a certain type of openness. You open your heart. And then they, pardon my French, shit all over it. Okay. Then, what's really going on here is that for people like that who harbor these types of demons, love does not work. Only power does. Okay? And power is wisdom. And another word for it is light. So, the game begins about the truth. In order for you to continue having a harmonious life that you enjoy, the game continues. And the game is about the truth now. Because what is the truth? The truth is divine boundaries. Okay? And the truth must be, the boundaries must be set in the areas based on the actual truth, not corruption. Okay? Because there's, like I said, there's two sides of it, right? There's the perfect mirror. For that, you can see yourself by letting go of your anxieties and fears. And what is the anxiety and fear? It's basically the boundary where there's supposed to be openness. Okay? Some people have boundary where there's supposed to be openness. They don't have the open heart. That's this type of shadow. Feminine shadow. Okay? And then there's other side, the masculine shadow, is where you have the openness where there's supposed to be boundary. Okay? This is why you're open. If you're open completely and you don't have the boundaries of wisdom, you're going to be used. Actually, you're going to be used. This is why this is so important right now for everybody to understand that this lovey-dovey kumbaya is absolute bullshit. Okay? It's not what, if people think like, well, if you're gonna just love somebody, deep enough, they're going to change, or their heart is going to open. No. They actually, what's going on, they're going to use you to deal with their shit. That's what they're going to do, because they only respond to power, not love. And this is what's like, it's so sweet, it's fucking bitter with this, hey, lovey-dovey, you know what I'm saying? If only just love. No, try it. If you, especially these types of people who are open and loving, going to attract some fucking monster, and they're gonna try to fix him, And because, well, if I just love him enough or love her enough, they're going to change. And then sure enough, the more you love them, the more they abuse you. And you start dealing with the karma that is not even yours. So if we observe that happening in our reality, it's safe to conclude that the reality is not reflecting perfection to us, because if you work yourself and then start reflecting the opposite, we have to conclude that reality also reflecting the distortions. Okay, it's like we have distorted mirror and then we have clear mirror. That's the way this reality works. Okay, so we talk about the reflection. Now then, the name of the game is, like I said, the truth. And you don't gain the boundaries. You don't go back. You don't go start closing your heart because somebody's mistreating you. That's not what you do. You actually bring out the boundaries from within, not from the outside. You're not creating your beliefs anymore because you let go of the beliefs. Now you have the open heart, but then you got another problem now, that people are dumping their shit and you now have to deal with somebody else's shit. And then you have to alchemize that, and that process is going to create the divine boundary in you. And the people are not going to be able to dump that shit, because first of all, you're automatically alchemizing everything into the truth, and that light is going to repel the people who harbor darkness. Okay, this process is very masculine process. Wisdom is a very masculine process because it is about dealing with the deepest spiritual pain that is not physical pain. I know a lot of men may be experienced with the physical pain and they call themselves tough, which is good. I've been doing sports all my life. I'm very familiar with that pain, and I'm very familiar with breaking through that pain and enjoying that pain. I know what it's like. This type of pain is completely different ballgame. It doesn't matter how much pain you can take in the gym and working out or running or doing whatever. This type of pain will fuck you up if you think that if you think that you're tough in the physical realm. This is completely different ballgame. This requires completely different willpower, and not many people can walk into the fire, but few do, and few men are like that. And we don't need a lot, but we do need men like that. Now you may ask, what about the woman, and what is the woman role into this? The woman's role in this is stop being open to corrupted male energy. You close off. And I know that the voice inside your head may say, but I don't want to come across as not caring or whatever and stuff like that. No, that's weakness. That's not love. Okay? The answer to that corrupt energy is not this resentment, because that's going backwards. The answer to that energy is actually stillness. It's not openness. Okay? Because yes, you have your divine heart, so to speak, your soul heart, right? Which can open, but it can also be resting in stillness, in Holy Spirit. And that is your shield from that corrupt energy. Non-reaction, genuine non-reaction. When that energy comes to you, or it's trying to do this and try to trigger you and try to dump their shit again, there's no reaction inside of you, but there's no openness either, but there's stillness. It's neutrality, okay? You're neither open, neither closed, you're neutral about it. You do not open to that energy. You do not close to that energy, but you find the neutrality towards it. Okay, when that corrupt masculine energy does not trigger you anymore, then you can feel the real masculine energy that is not corrupt and start opening to that. That is a feminine work, because you are going to be facilitating the men like that who work with the pain, through spiritual pain every day, and have to transmute it, and they need your openness. Okay, you will receive the light with that type of openness, not like with the corrupt men. When you open up to these mofos, you just receive pain. Okay, but when you open up to men like that, you will receive light, you will receive bliss. You don't have to work for it, you don't have to go through all these painful processes, because it's like, you may choose to do so, but that's very masculine. You don't have to do this, because for every woman there's a man. For every soul that is feminine, there is a soul that is masculine. We're supposed to be working together like that, you see. And people are about to make a choice. Are they going to be following and be the dark princess or the dark prince, and the light princess and the light prince? Okay, because there's going to be only one consort that's going to end up being a king and a queen, and that's going to be the king of light and the queen of light. So everything has to be put in the right order. Okay, and then this process of growth, of soulful growth about the truth and wisdom, is not as difficult. Okay, and you also may say, well, why I want to have a partner, and you will find the partner through doing this type of energy work. If you keep surrendering to divine masculine, if you keep surrendering to Christ, sometimes people call it, then the stillness in your heart is going to be deepening. The peace is going to be deepening, and the more you are peace, the more light is going to enter you. Okay, and that light, that divine masculine, this is what you've been looking for in a man and never could find. Now you could find it within yourself, that energy, that spirit of a man that you want to be with. So you already are with the man that you want to be with in spirit. And then it's just a matter of time. If you keep on focusing there and keep on working there, it's a matter of time where that is going to be manifest in the physical reality. But you don't really care about that, okay? Because you let that unfoldment happen the way it happens. You don't really care about the manifestation, because you're not doing this to get something in the manifestation world, you see, because that's, again, you're going back into the same trap. Because if you're trying to get something, you're still operating on a different type of reward system. But if you already find that this is, and it's already, you feel that fulfillment, and you do feel like the man that you've been looking for is inside you already, in the spirit. And the same thing for men. As you transmute the pain energy, the more you become light, the more peace is going to come around you, and you're going to feel surrounded by that love that you've been looking for in a woman you could never find. Okay, so you start living in these energies first, and you polarize in the correct way. In this world, there is no backwards ass, because in this world the energy flows in the correct way. The man flows towards the masculine direction, which is going from bottom up, like that, in the torus field, like that. That's masculine energy, and it creates that beam of light, that sword energy of truth. And woman energy goes like that, the opposite, from the up down, and that creates the openness, the lotus, if you will, the flower. And so That is absolute unstoppable power that produces harmony. Okay? So when you restore this balance within yourself first, little by little you start seeing that reflection around you. But you got to learn the freaking lessons. I've had to learn my lessons too, about this openness, but about this idea that if you love somebody deep enough, they're going to, you know, um, change, and it's a myth. It's not like that. So you can see there's a lot of beliefs that are going out there are good one-liners, and you take it as a belief, and you try to live by that belief, and the life shows you no, you're trying to live by the belief. You're trying to trick the game. You're not really, figure out the truth. You're not really living from the energy. You're still living from the belief, and this reality will not allow you to live from the belief. It will always punish you if you live from the belief. Okay? Because I'm gonna make another video, because this is already 26 minutes in. I'm gonna make another video about this specific topic. So in my next video, I'm gonna talk about pain-pleasure complex as this one and only problem that we all have. The pain-pleasure complex, psychological pain-pleasure complex, which psychological pain-pleasure is psychological time, psychological memory. It's the only problem that we have to overcome. Okay? So to finish this subject, I have to say, men and women who chose this path of love and light, now I sound like a freaking new age hippie, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm using the words, but you can see that I'm not just using empty words. There's actually observable reality that is happening, spiritual, emotional, with us every single day. You can see it for yourself. This is why, do not believe me. Everything that I said, you have to reobserve, reflect, and see for yourself. And stop believing something, but just pure observation, and say, yeah, I was open like that, right there. I thought I'm going to help this person, but they just dumped their shit onto me, and I had to always work with that shit that is not even mine. You can see that happening, okay? And then the dilemma arises. What you do, you don't want to close the heart, but because that's not the way, and but you don't want to keep that heart open as well. And there, of course, that's the new gate opens to the wisdom and truth. And it opens it to the feminine wisdom, which is to what structure do I surrender to, and opens masculine wisdom is to what do I face with my courage. Okay, those things are, and now this path, it's actual game. This is where we actually play the game. You see? And people call it, like once you find the surrender, it's like, oh, that's it. No, of course not. That's just the beginning. Awakening is just the beginning, because you are awakening to the game that you actually need to play. Up to that point, you didn't even know what the fuck is going on. You didn't even have a map of the game. You didn't even know that you're playing the game. But now that you're born as a soul being, which is capable for evolution, the game begins. Okay? And again, you can also see it in the stars. Look at the astronomy. The photos and the observations that taken by the scientists, showing the evolution of the stars. Okay? And first, there's this nebulous cloud that has to coalesce into one big object. So that's the star is born. it's basically you not knowing what the fuck is going on, but suddenly the reality, you know, turns on, and so now the light is on. Okay, then the star lives its lifetime. Okay, and it then becomes into red giant. Okay, and then it's very peculiar, and all these scientists would agree with that the end is very peculiar, because sometimes that ends in big black hole, which is void, the source energy, and that is feminine ending for the star. And then sometimes it ends with a neutron star, which is the densest object. Basically, it's like solid light that beams the light from, from the upwards axis and the downwards axis. The neutron star is infinite and it can never go away. It's born after the star is born, living its life, and then it's becoming immortal. And this neutron star is a symbolism or symbolically spoken of as a philosopher's stone. Okay, and that's what the destiny of a man who chose the path of wisdom. Okay, and that big black hole is the destiny of a woman who chose this path of wisdom, but in a feminine way. Okay, and that is the end again, because everything started with big black hole, big void, and a spark, divine spark of light. Okay, because that's where it all started. The Christ is that divine spark. Holy Spirit or Virgin Mary is that void. And so we're just going home. And it's best to just accept that fact, understand of who you are, and not, and just play this game. If you know, okay, everything that I just said is observable, go out and research it for yourself. And so you see, consciousness always gives you clues, because consciousness cannot create anything else but itself. So it always gives you clues. And so this is observable. Don't believe me, go and check it out. And so indeed you will find that the two destinies of the giant stars. One is a neutron star, which is infinite and never goes away, and the big black hole. Okay? So, okay, that's just a little bit like an astronomy lesson, but you get the point. I just want to show something that could allow you to see what is your journey, what is the game that you're actually playing. And when you know what kind of game you're playing, then it's easier. Then you don't blame yourself for being quote unquote mean to somebody by not opening your heart to them. It's because that's gullibility. That's not even, you see what I mean? Just think about it. If somebody comes in and a person is all charming, but you feel their energy, and this like woof, this fucking anxiety just comes over you, you go back into the stillness and very calmly to say no to that person. You don't invite it to homes, because that person may fucking murder your family. And see, this is not actual love of wisdom. This is gullibility. There's a difference between gullibility and innocence. If you're truly innocent, you're gonna feel everything what's really going on, and you'll be able to say no. That's like a compassionate no. Okay. And sometimes those energies, these dark, energies, they very forceful onto you, and you gotta go back to the stillness and just say no. And don't even sweat about it. Don't blame yourself that, oh, you've been mean or no. You have to have that divine boundary within yourself. Okay? And so, as a woman, the wisdom is Holy Spirit, is stillness and compassionate. No. As a man, the man may actually do something about it or reveal the truth immediately and say the truth about that person and trigger that person and make that person run away. That's masculine way of doing it. You reveal, you shine the light upon them and say, like, I know exactly what you're doing here. You know? So that's how you deal with it. And we have to be strong about this stuff, okay? That's not taking anything away from you in terms of that you're not loving or not caring. You're still loving and you're still caring. And how do you know if you're still loving and you're caring? If you're by yourself and you're at peace and at bliss, all is well. Okay? And don't even sweat about it. It doesn't matter if you had to say no to a close family member or a partner or whatever. You did the right thing. And it is. And some people will choose the dark side and some people will choose the light side. And there's nothing you can do about that, right? Because if you chose the light side, you already chose something that the maximum that you can do about bringing the harmony in this world. And who knows, maybe in the end, that person also is going to break and let go of that spirit. Okay? But why some people hold on to this darkness and why people choose the light, I don't know. That may be hard coded. And so, even like in a Jesus story, he wasn't able to change the mind of Romans in the Jesus story, right? He wasn't able to change the mind of Caesar because it's the game. And so, I don't know, maybe in this lifetime they're playing a villain. And no matter what you're going to do, they're going to be a villain. Okay? And some movies show that the villain in the end finds the right way. And sometimes they double down and they would rather die. And that's just the way it is. And your job is just to follow what's right in your heart, and whatever happens, you have to trust that that's an ideal outcome. Anyway, hopefully that clarifies things a little bit, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.